Hey, Mr. Swift here, and today's lesson is about how we're going to take our bicycle frame and put it into the fixture. So if you notice here on the fixture that the seat tube is at 90 degrees, and for most of you, your bike seat tubes, might be anywhere from around 70 or 71 degrees or 73 degrees even. And what we're going to do today is use SolidWorks to create a digital fixture that will tell us about these important points, like here where the chainstay and the rear axle is, here at the bottom bracket, and then here at the bottom of the head tube. So what we'll do is we'll jump onto SolidWorks. We'll take our initial SolidWorks drawing that we created last semester of our bike frame, and then we're going to put in some points here that will show us, where we need to measure our fixture from. So let me walk over to my desk real quick, and then I'll get signed in to SolidWorks, and we'll get working and get this created. Now, we always called them fixture drawings because it was a drawing of the fixture. And it's important because as you are working on your bike in the fixture, you're still going to want to know where all those points are on the drawing and on the fixture. So it's a really important part of the frame building process. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and window. I'll share with you my SolidWorks. Now what you'll see here is this is my drawing from last semester. This is just the frame drawing. The very first one that we kind of did where you pick the frame that you want to make. Now the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to delete out a lot of these little measurements, and I'm going to delete that top tube line, and I'm just going to really try to clean up this drawing so it just has the things that are important to me as a frame builder. So some of these things, aren't super important. I'm actually going to delete my axles of crown, get rid of that. I'm going to delete that line there. I'm actually going to delete our horizontal line too. And yes, I'm going to delete our fork offset. And I know it seems pretty extreme, but what we're going to do is just get rid of everything so our frame is just kind of isolated by itself. And I think I got a couple more to delete. So that would be the very first thing you need to do, is delete out kind of a lot of the measurements that you used before. All right. Now, the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my frame and I'm going to actually rotate it to make my seat tube vertical, just like it is over the fixture. So up here, there's a thing called Move Entities. And what we'll do is we'll click on that and we're going to rotate our entities. And so over here, it says, what do we want to rotate? And I'm going to select everything. We're going to rotate everything. And then I'm going to scroll down over here, and it says, what's the center of our rotation? And I want to click here, and I'm just going to click the top of that seat tube point. Click that, and it says, what is the degrees? And my seat tube was at 76 degrees, or was it 74? But anyways, I do 90 degrees minus my seat tube angle. And I want to try this at 16. And you can see it's the wrong direction, so I'm going to do negative 16. And looking at that, that's not correct, so I think it was negative 14. No, it was, I think, negative 16. All right. If I click OK, there you go. So I've got my seat tube vertical, and now what we'll do is we'll start, and I can actually delete that line too. We don't need that anymore. But so now what we'll do is we're going to go and put some very specific points in here. Now, the first thing we want to do is we're going to draw a horizontal line now that will represent the fixture. So, and what's interesting is our fixtures are actually offset by about 5 millimeters. So I'm going to draw a line from the middle of my bottom bracket. I'm just going to draw it down just a little bit, and that needs to be a distance of 5 millimeters. I know it doesn't seem like much, but I would hate for your frame to be off by just that much. So we'll go down 5 millimeters. Now from this point, we're going to draw a horizontal line to the very front. And then I'm going to draw another line again from that point, and we'll go all the way horizontally to the back. All right. Now, after we've gotten the horizontal line put in, what we're going to do is we're going to put a line in here from the rear axle, and we're going to take that and we'll just go vertically down to that horizontal line, and I can trim this off now, and there you go. And so now this line here is actually going to tell us where our axle will be. So we'll do some dimensions on that, and we'll just pull that out over there, and then we're going to do the same thing with this rear distance. So it's kind of like a triangle where we're using a horizontal distance and a vertical distance to place exactly where our axle needs to go. So I'm going to place that right there. All right. Now, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to do something similar here to the front. Now, the front, we have kind of a contraption holding the head tube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an offset, and I'm going to do two different offsets. The first offset will be the bottom of the head tube, and we're going to offset it down, and we're going to offset it down 30 millimeters. And I'm going to click OK. And you can see that this is the one we want. This one we don't want. I accidentally hit bidirectional on that. So, and then I'm going to, once I've done that, I'm going to offset the head tube angle. And that's here. I'm going to offset it. And I'm going to offset it out to the right. And that's going to be a distance of 12.8. And now I'm going to close that and say OK. And then now I'm going to come down here. I'm actually going to trim off. I'm going to trim that off, trim that off. And this line that we use, this head tube line, we can actually get rid of that. So we'll right click and delete that. Good. So now we can do the same thing we kind of did earlier. We're going to take this and we're going to go down, and there, that's how far out we need to put our head tube. We can also dimension this angle. So it should be, smart dimension from here to here. All right, and then I'm going to also dimension how high up to put that part of the head tube. So I'm gonna just I'll trim this off again. Oh, trim. All right, and I don't need that value. Smart dimension from that point down. And that distance should be parallel. You can see it's 358, and we actually want it to be the 360 because we'll be measuring along that. So I click and say OK. Oh, there you go. So that is pretty much it. That tells us how far back to put our axle and where to put our head tube at in the fixture. So this would be our fixture drawing. So what I would do here is I would do File, Save As, and call it the name of my bike, and then call it Fixture. So that way I remember that it's fixture drawing. And then what we can do from here is you can take a screenshot of that, and you can take your screenshot and, you know, print it out. That's what I like to do because I like to have a paper copy of it. You can also take a screenshot of it and add it to your digital portfolio. You can, you know, put it somewhere in a Google Doc, and I'll actually have this be one of your assignments too. So you're going to need to submit your screenshot. But so I'm going to save that too and call it. So now I have my screenshot fixture, and I'll hold on to that. And then I'm going to print that out, and I'm going to use it over there on the fixture. So I hope this has helped you get your fixture drawing made, and good luck. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right, we'll see you in class.